Have you ever wondered why your legs feel so heavy at night? Or why those shoes that fit perfectly last month now feel tight around your ankles? What if I told you the culprit isn't your age, but what's sitting on your dinner plate each evening? It sounds alarming, but for adults over 65, your body processes foods differently, especially during evening hours. While thousands of seniors blame aging for their leg pains, swollen ankles, and declining kidney function, the real problem might be making its way to your table every single night. Many end up with serious kidney problems without ever connecting the dots to their evening meals. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. Today, I'm going to reveal 6 common dinner choices that could be silently harming your legs and kidneys. Some might surprise you because they're marketed as healthy options, even carrying labels like heart-friendly or low-fat. Yet, the impact they have on your aging body can be truly concerning. Stay with me. Your legs, kidneys, and future self will thank you. When you're over 65, bouncing back from discomfort or a poor night's sleep becomes more challenging. Your evening meal affects far more than just your stomach. It impacts your legs, kidneys, sleep quality, and even your energy the following day. That's why I want to walk you through these 6 common dinner choices that might be doing more harm than good for seniors. Many of these foods fly under the radar because they're marketed as convenient, healthy options. But your body knows the difference. I'll explain exactly what each food does to your legs and kidneys, why it becomes problematic after 65, and the simple swaps you can make instead. These aren't dramatic changes, just thoughtful adjustments that can make a world of difference. I'm not here to scare you, just to share honest, science-backed advice based on real experiences with older adults. If regaining comfort in your legs and supporting your kidney health matters to you, you'll want to hear this entire message. And if you find this information valuable, tap that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss our next health insight. We're creating a supportive community where seniors can stay informed and take control of their well-being. Now, let's examine the first surprising culprit. The first hidden danger we need to discuss is excessive sodium at dinner, particularly the kind hiding in foods we believe are healthy choices. Take Eleanor, a 77-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. She was always mindful about her diet, avoiding chips, rarely eating fast food, and never adding table salt. She believed she was making all the right choices. Most evenings, Eleanor enjoyed a bowl of ready-made vegetable soup or a light frozen dinner, followed by canned peaches or a few whole-grain crackers with a slice of cheese. But over several months, she noticed her ankles and calves would swell by bedtime. Some evenings brought uncomfortable pressure in her legs, and her morning routine began including struggling to put on shoes that suddenly felt too tight. Eleanor dismissed it as inevitable aging until she mentioned it at her senior center's nutrition workshop. When the dietitian reviewed her typical dinners, the answer emerged clearly. Her light frozen meal contained nearly 940 milligrams of sodium. The vegetable soup added another 680 mg, and even the canned fruit with its preservatives contributed more hidden sodium. Altogether, Eleanor's evening meal alone provided over 1,900 grams of sodium, approaching the entire daily recommended limit. As we age, our kidneys naturally become less efficient at filtering. Sodium, which helps maintain fluid balance, becomes harder for the body to process and eliminate. Excess sodium causes fluid retention, leading to swelling in the lower extremities. It also forces the kidneys to work harder precisely when they should be recovering overnight. This combination of swelling, pressure, and inadequate recovery creates leg discomfort and over time contributes to kidney fatigue. Eleanor didn't need to give up her convenient meals entirely. She simply learned to make smarter choices. She began preparing simple soups using low-sodium broth and fresh vegetables, switched to fresh or frozen berries instead of canned fruit, and started checking nutrition labels before purchasing packaged foods. Within just 3 weeks, the swelling diminished, her sleep improved, and her morning energy returned. These small adjustments made a remarkable difference. Sodium often hides in familiar, convenient foods we don't think to question. But once you know where to look, you regain control. While sodium silently disrupts fluid balance, our next concern sits heavier on both your plate and kidneys. Let's examine the impact of evening red meat consumption. The second dinner mistake many seniors unknowingly make is consuming red meat too late in the day. Consider Robert, a 73-year-old retired postal worker from Michigan, who always enjoyed a good steak. For him, cooking a thick cut of beef with potatoes and green beans wasn't just dinner. It was a cherished tradition, a way to feel nourished and satisfied. He believed protein was essential, especially for maintaining strength in his later years, and he wasn't wrong about that part. But over time, Robert began experiencing strange symptoms. He'd wake up with stiff, achy legs and joints. Sometimes a sharp pain would radiate through his lower back around 4:30 a.m. His wife suggested arthritis, and his doctor ran tests that showed nothing conclusive. It wasn't until Robert spoke with a nutritionist that they considered a different angle: the timing and type of protein he was consuming. Red meat, particularly beef and pork, contains dense proteins and saturated fats that take significant effort to digest. While your body can process these nutrients effectively during active daytime hours, eating them at night means your digestive system and kidneys remain engaged when they should be resting. During sleep, your body should focus on tissue repair and reducing inflammation. But when your kidneys are working overtime, processing the nitrogen waste from heavy proteins, they can't properly rest. This nighttime burden not only disrupts deep sleep cycles, but increases inflammation in the lower extremities, leading to those familiar symptoms of morning stiffness, tight calves, and occasional cramping. For Robert, the solution brought welcome relief. He didn't abandon his beloved beef. He simply shifted it to lunchtime and chose lighter protein sources for dinner. Some evenings he'd enjoy grilled fish with quinoa and vegetables. Other nights, a hearty bean soup with whole grain bread satisfied his appetite. Within just a few weeks, he slept through the night undisturbed, and the leg discomfort that once plagued his mornings virtually disappeared. He continued enjoying his favorite foods, just at times that supported his body's natural rhythms. Timing, it turns out, matters tremendously for aging bodies. While red meat taxes the kidneys with heavy processing, our next concern is cleverly disguised in small containers and packets, often added without a second thought. These sweet sauces and dressings, barbecue, teriyaki, even ketchup, may be quietly damaging your kidneys and inflaming your legs 1 tablespoon at a time. The third hidden danger in many seniors' dinner routines comes from sweet sauces and dressings. Those innocent-looking condiments like barbecue sauce, teriyaki glaze, ketchup, and even certain salad dressings. Meet Patricia, a 68-year-old retired accountant from Florida who was conscientious about her diet. She rarely indulged in desserts, avoided sodas, and prepared most meals at home. But like most of us, she wanted food that tasted delicious. With each dinner, she'd add a splash of barbecue sauce to her chicken or a dollop of ketchup to her potatoes. Sometimes she'd dress her salad with a light honey mustard that proudly claimed to be heart-healthy on its label. Over several months, Patricia developed a burning sensation in her legs at night and an unsettling tingling in her feet. She attributed it to aging nerves or perhaps circulation issues. But when her doctor ruled out diabetes and found normal blood pressure readings, Patricia began wondering if something else might be responsible. A nutritionist helped unveil the culprit. Each tablespoon of her favourite condiments contained surprising amounts of added sugars, often high fructose corn syrup, and hidden sodium. Though the portions seemed small, their effects were significant. These concentrated sugars create rapid blood glucose spikes, triggering inflammation in blood vessels, particularly in the tiny capillaries throughout the legs and kidneys. This inflammation impairs circulation, causing heaviness, swelling, and burning sensations in the lower extremities. When kidneys face consistent exposure to elevated sugar and sodium levels, their filtering capacity gradually diminishes, leading to long-term damage without obvious early warning signs. What surprised Patricia most was how these products were marketed as healthy options, some even labelled low-fat, while quietly undermining her health. The solution wasn't abandoning flavour, it was making wiser choices. Patricia began creating simple homemade dressings using olive oil, lemon juice, vinegar, garlic and fresh herbs. She discovered mustard varieties without added sugars and learned to make quick tomato sauce using fresh tomatoes, which gave her meals vibrant flavours without the hidden harm. Within just 2 weeks, the burning sensations in her legs subsided and her morning energy notably improved. This small adjustment made a remarkable difference in her comfort and well-being. As we age, even seemingly minor ingredients can have outsized effects on our bodies. Condiments often become the unquestioned culprits we never think to examine. But if flavorings can be deceptive, so too can comfort foods, especially dairy products. Let's explore how evening cheese and milk might affect your legs and kidneys more significantly than you realize. The fourth dinner habit that can quietly undermine leg and kidney health is consuming too much dairy at night, particularly cheese. Consider George, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Wisconsin who maintained generally healthy habits. He walked daily, stayed well hydrated, and avoided processed foods. But he had one evening tradition he particularly cherished. After dinner, usually around 8:30 p.m., he'd settle into his favourite chair with a small plate of crackers and cheddar cheese, accompanied by a glass of cold milk. It was his way to unwind and reward himself after a busy day. As months passed, George began experiencing troubling symptoms. He'd wake up with numb toes, stiff calves, and an unusual heaviness in his legs. He suspected poor circulation or perhaps early nerve damage, but medical tests revealed no obvious cause. Frustrated and curious, George began paying closer attention to his evening habits. When discussing these issues with a nutritionist at his community centre, the connection became evident. Cheese, while nutritious with its calcium and protein content, also contains significant saturated fat and sodium, two elements that, when consumed at night, can interfere with healthy circulation and kidney function. Saturated fat contributes to arterial plaque formation, restricting blood flow to the extremities. Sodium increases fluid retention and forces the kidneys to work harder balancing fluids overnight. For older adults, this combination leads to increased inflammation, compromised circulation, and poor muscle recovery. That's why many seniors who consume dairy products late in the evening report waking with bloating, tightness, or achiness in their legs. George wasn't willing to completely abandon his evening ritual, so he made thoughtful modifications instead. He switched from cheddar to a softer goat cheese with lower sodium content and easier digestibility. He replaced cow's milk with unsweetened almond milk and moved his snack time an hour earlier, allowing more digestion time before sleep. Within 2 weeks, the stiffness in his legs began improving, and he woke feeling more refreshed. He continued enjoying his evening routine, just in a way that supported rather than stressed his aging body. Dairy can certainly remain part of a healthy senior diet, but timing and quantity become increasingly important factors. While dairy creates a gradual strain on circulation, our next concern acts more rapidly and deceptively. It hides in everyday comfort foods like white bread, white rice and pasta, spiking blood sugar precisely when your body needs stability and rest. Let's examine the impact of refined carbohydrates. The fifth food habit that quietly works against leg and kidney health involves consuming too many refined carbohydrates at dinner, especially white bread, white rice, and conventional pasta. Consider Margaret, a 69-year-old retired office manager from Illinois who took pride in her simple, home-cooked meals. Her dinners typically included a piece of grilled chicken, steamed vegetables, and either a slice of white bread or a serving of white rice. She never questioned these choices. But over several months, Margaret began waking in the middle of the night with her legs feeling extraordinarily heavy. Sometimes she'd experience unsettling tingling in her toes or sudden jolts of discomfort in her calves around 3 a.m. Her sleep became increasingly fragmented, leaving her more exhausted in the morning than when she went to bed. When medical tests revealed nothing concerning, her doctor suggested it might simply be part of aging. Margaret, however, wasn't satisfied with that explanation. She consulted a nutritionist who asked her to maintain a detailed food journal with special attention to evening meals. That's when the pattern emerged. Refined carbohydrates like white bread and white rice lack the fiber and nutrients of their whole grain counterparts. When consumed in the evening, they digest rapidly, converting quickly to glucose and causing sharp blood sugar spikes followed by dramatic drops. This rollercoaster pattern interferes with the body's ability to rest, repair tissues, and maintain fluid balance during sleep. For older adults, it also contributes to insulin resistance over time, placing additional stress on the kidneys. The result? Nighttime leg discomfort, interrupted sleep, and gradual kidney strain, all from foods that seem perfectly harmless. Margaret implemented several strategic substitutions. She replaced white bread with sprouted whole grain varieties and switched from white rice to brown rice or quinoa. She also began incorporating more leafy greens with her dinners, which helped slow digestion and stabilize blood sugar levels. Within just 10 days, her sleep quality improved significantly, her legs felt lighter, and her morning energy increased noticeably. These adjustments didn't require abandoning comfort foods, just choosing versions that better supported her body's needs. Refined carbohydrates may seem gentle and familiar, but they create metabolic instability precisely when your body requires balance and calm. While food choices play a crucial role, we can't overlook what many seniors sip after dinner without a second thought. Let's examine how evening beverages, whether alcoholic or sweetened, can silently trigger leg cramps and kidney stress throughout the night. The sixth and final dinner mistake many seniors make involves choosing the wrong evening beverages, whether alcohol or sweetened drinks that seem innocent but gradually undermine leg and kidney health overnight. Take Thomas, a 71-year-old retired accountant from Virginia who never considered himself much of a drinker. Yet each evening after dinner, he'd enjoy either a small glass of red wine to help him unwind, or sometimes a tall glass of sweet iced tea while watching television. It was his comfortable ritual, familiar, relaxing, and seemingly harmless. Over time, however, Thomas began waking multiple times throughout the night, either needing the bathroom or experiencing painful leg cramps that interrupted his sleep. His morning energy declined noticeably, and he developed unusual soreness in his lower back. His doctor checked his hydration and kidney function, which showed slight abnormalities but nothing alarming. It wasn't until Thomas mentioned his nightly beverages that the connection became apparent. Alcohol, even in modest amounts, acts as a diuretic, stimulating the kidneys to filter more fluid and increasing nighttime urination. This leads to mild dehydration by early morning, a primary trigger for muscle cramps and kidney strain. Sweetened beverages like iced tea, flavored waters or fruit juices might seem gentler alternatives, but they flood the bloodstream with glucose, disrupting sleep quality and triggering inflammation in the small vessels throughout the legs and kidneys. What makes these effects particularly troublesome is their gradual nature. The impact builds slowly over weeks and months, making the connection difficult to recognize. Thomas wasn't prepared to completely abandon his evening comfort, so he made thoughtful substitutions instead. He replaced wine with a soothing cup of herbal tea, enhanced with a touch of cinnamon. On evenings, when he craved something refreshing, he infused water with cucumber slices and fresh lemon. These alternatives supported kidney function, maintained hydration, and helped reduce nighttime inflammation. After just 2 weeks, Thomas slept more soundly, experienced fewer bathroom trips, and the cramping that once disrupted his nights became increasingly rare. Sometimes the solution isn't elimination. It's finding alternatives your body actually appreciates. Having uncovered these 6 dinner habits that may be quietly undermining your leg and kidney health, let's consider how thoughtful adjustments can restore comfort, strength, and vitality to your daily life, beginning tonight. If you've stayed with me to this point, it tells me you truly care about your health, and I appreciate that commitment. Go ahead and type the number 6 in the comments so I know you're fully engaged with this journey. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming health insights. Let's take a moment to summarize what we've learned. We began with a fundamental truth. Sometimes the foods we consider harmless at dinner may be quietly damaging our legs and gradually harming our kidneys. You've discovered how excess sodium, especially from prepared soups and frozen meals, leads to swelling, fluid retention, and kidney strain. You've learned how evening red meat consumption forces your body to remain active when it should be recovering, resulting in muscle fatigue and impaired kidney function. We explored how sweet sauces and condiments, barbecue, teriyaki, ketchup, contain hidden sugars and sodium that inflame blood vessels and disrupt restorative sleep. We uncovered how evening dairy, particularly cheese, can impede circulation and place additional pressure on already taxed systems. We examined how refined carbohydrates like white bread and rice cause blood sugar fluctuations that stress both kidneys and nerves. And finally, we discussed those seemingly innocent evening glasses of wine, sweet tea, or juice that dehydrate your system and make nights uncomfortable and restless. Here's the encouraging news. None of this damage is permanent. Every single one of these habits can be modified with simple, practical adjustments. You don't need to completely overhaul your kitchen or follow a restrictive diet. Start with awareness, check those food labels, make one ingredient swap, shift one meal earlier, choose one better evening beverage. The changes don't need to be dramatic, they just need to begin. All these effects can be reversed. You can relieve the pressure on your legs and give your kidneys the respite they deserve. And the time to start is today. It's never too late to listen to your body's signals, make gentle adjustments, and experience the difference. Even one night of improved sleep or one morning without discomfort makes the effort worthwhile. And once you feel the benefits, you'll naturally want to continue. Thank you sincerely for spending this time with me today. If something in this message resonated with you, helped you feel understood, or inspired even a small change you'd like to try, please share your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely value your stories, questions, and progress updates. If you found this information helpful, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss our future guidance and support. This channel exists to provide you with practical advice, comfort, and confidence as you take control of your health journey. Remember, you're never too old, too tired, or too set in your ways to make positive changes. I believe in your capacity to improve your well-being, and I'm honored to be part of your journey. Until next time, stay well and stay strong.